Hey, what's up guys, it's Tat, and I've been able to play the Nightmare or Reworked Freddy for about a week now, and it's time I give you my thoughts on what could be changed about him. I didn't want to make this video day after he came out because, let's face it, people still at that point didn't know how to counterplay him, and a lot of content creators were pumping out most OP Freddy build known to man, easy 4K every game. So this is after a week of him being on the live server, and I have some thoughts. So first of all, I think he's actually a really fun killer. I much prefer this version of Freddy to the old one. I think the old one was absolute fucking booty cheeks. This new one, way more fun to play, and he has more interactions and chases with multiple survivors. He can put people to sleep just like he could when he came out. He has all kinds of nods and references to his original power as well, like with the red paintbrush add-on. So I'm quite happy with how they handled the rework, but I think there's a few things that could still use some tweaking to get him into a little bit of a better place. Right now, if a survivor uses an alarm clock, the clock goes on cooldown for 45 seconds, but they are completely immune to falling asleep by any means for the next 30 seconds. Normally, this isn't too big of a deal until it starts happening on a smaller map or sort of in a chase. They'll run to an alarm clock, wake themselves up mid-chase, while you're like mind gaming a pallet, and then you realize, oh, they're not here anymore. They are waking themselves up at the clock in this loop, and now you can't use your power against the guy. So you can't slow him, you can't blow him up with a pallet, you can't do anything with him really, and that feels pretty fucking terrible. So along with that, I've realized that the dream pallets are a little underpowered. Specifically, I think their radius is just a little too small. I would still increase it. So going over some of his changes here, sleep immunity, I think it just should only stop the actual sleep timer. So if you hit a survivor with a basic attack or with any of your dream powers like snares or pallets, they should still fall asleep or progress their timer. I genuinely think that right now sleep immunity is his biggest hindrance, because preventing yourself from falling asleep against the guy who only works if you are asleep, yeah, it doesn't really take a whole lot of brain power to realize the connection there. So with dream pallets, I would increase the radius of his rupture or the explosion to 4 meters, up from 3.5. I've found that the unicorn block, which previously would increase this radius by another 0.5 meter to 4 meters, felt really good to play with, and made him much more manageable on a variety of maps and in different situations. With his pallets, they felt less like a hindrance and more like an actual potential way to end a chase or get a cheeky hit here and there. We probably shouldn't keep unicorn block as is to make it further increase range, so I would suggest it has a new effect. I just came up with something off the top of my head. It kind of makes sense with the whole idea of Freddy. He's putting you to sleep. What makes you tired, you're exhausted. So now unicorn block has the effect that a sleeping survivor suffers from exhausted until woken up, so they can't use sprint burst or dead hard as an example. The swing chains add-on right now I think is just a little undertuned. I've had it be useful in a handful of situations. I can literally count 3 uses of this add-on ever. It pretty underpowered for a purple. I think the radius that it works should be increased to 24 meters, up from 16 meters, and the duration of the window block should be increased from 6 seconds to 10 seconds. Survivors can already pre-run Freddy pretty easily. If they see a window is blocked, most of the time they're just going to keep running, so increasing the radius even more means they have less options from further away, and the longer block duration means they're kind of zoned a little bit more. So rather than it just only working to prevent like a vault here and there, it can maybe help zone a survivor. And finally, the black box. This add-on is probably just useless. There was a bit of an oversight when they reworked Freddy. So this add-on makes it so that sleeping survivors can't escape through an exit gate for 15 seconds, which is pretty cool. But here's the thing. When you down a survivor, they wake up. So if a survivor is just pressed right up against the very end of the exit gate with the block, and you down them, they immediately escape. So that needs to be addressed. Simple solution is to just make it so that when you down someone who is asleep, the exit gate remains blocked for a few seconds after. It could be something like 4 seconds, 5 seconds, something like that, just so you have use of the add-on. I've tried doing endgame builds and I had to actually scrap an entire video because I realized that this add-on from PTB still is not fixed. If you down someone who is suffering from this effect, they still escape. So those are the changes I would make to Freddy. I think he's honestly one of the best reworks behavior has done in a very long time. They understood the assignment perfectly. He feels way more fun to play. He's way more interesting to play against as well, and he is stronger. Now, I don't think he is even mid-tier. I still think he's a very low-tier killer, but at the very least, he's not bottom-of-the-barrel garbage anymore, and he's actually playable and functional. I can see that there's going to be a lot of skill ceiling potential here. He's going to probably have a really devoted set of players throughout the next year or so who will come up with all kinds of weird builds and tactics to get hits and downs. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the new Freddy, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the Nightmare rework down below, and I will see you guys over the weekend with some more uploads, probably some Legion content. Thanks for watching, guys.